The detachment. I'm not making you play anything. Hello, and
Hello.
welcome back to Command Protocols list building segment.
Yeah.
We're building a list. If you didn't have enough of us for the last 2 days, we're back again on a Tuesday night, a hallowed Tuesday night, building a list for a detachment that nobody plays except the bravest of heart.
And that will be me.
And Andy lost a bet, and one of the viewers said that he had to make and play an Annihilation Legion list at an RTT. So we're fulfilling that role, that duty that was set out upon us. We are men of word.
Yep.
So what? First, we're going to talk about what Annihilation Legion do, because nobody knows what the strats do. I have a clue. I know that they're terrible. And then we're gonna try and make a list, and
Yeah.
we're gonna try and put destroyers in there.
Yeah.
So yeah, cool.
I think we're going to have a minimum of 1,000 points of destroyer cult models.
Yes, and
Just,
also we should mention that it's probably not going to be like the best list that we could ever make because of Andy would have to actually paint and play these models. So if he can't paint them or play them, then tough titties.
I mean, I probably have most of them. It's just if I don't actually own the model, then I won't be able to
Exactly.
bust out in time.
So let's just get straight into it.
What does this
Um,
detachment actually do?
And look at that. Here we're using 39K Pro. If any people don't know what this is a website which allows you to check all of the rules in 40K, like all the data sheets and factions and all that stuff. It's very helpful.
Yep.
So what does it do, Andy? Take it away.
It doesn't do anything. You might as well just delete that text. But basically, you can reroll charges, and if they're below half strength, you get to add one to the charge roll. And then if you're shooting something that's the closest target, you get +1 AP.
Yeah.
So
So
not the strongest.
it's already an attachment with hoops to jump through.
Mhm.
Yeah, you get to reroll charges. Very good.
Yeah,
But having to be below half strength for an army that like just having to get something to below half strength for me is just annoying because it means
yeah,
you have to have already almost killed it. So
exactly. And there are some units in the game that you physically can't get below half strength, like 2-man units of something, where one of
yeah,
them dies and
Terminators.
they're never below half strength, even if they take wounds after that. So
Yeah,
it's tricky.
yeah, it's something.
And
It's
then
basically just flayed ones.
you've got your shooting bonus, which isn't really that helpful because how often are you always going to be targeting the closest eligible? We've got Gauss destroyers with AP4. Do they care about an extra AP? Probably not too
Hell yeah.
much. Not really. Come on. And then the Omnitics, they do like the extra AP, but having to shoestring yourself into shooting only the closest target, it's not ideal.
If
But
only one unit's put out, then I guess that's that. But yeah, it's not amazing, but it's decent. I like the +1 AP in range better than reroll charge, but
I mean, how often do you fail a charge with no CP and wish that you could reroll it for free? So it's not reroll charges isn't bad. It's just you have to play units that want to charge, and well,
Mike Porter wishes that he could reroll charges for free. So
okay,
right, let's jump straight into the enhancements.
yeah,
This is the best one,
this
hands
is the best
down.
one.
It's probably one of the best in the game. Not gonna lie. If this wasn't in such a shit detachment, this would have been nerfed
Yeah,
fucking months ago.
imagine if you could play this with warriors or lich guard.
Destroy a cult unit on a free up. They can't fall back. What the fuck? That
Yeah,
is so broken. If you get into combat, imagine as well. So, spoiler, but two of our strats are blood surges that don't let you get into combat. Imagine if we could do that
yeah.
and then use that strat as well. God, that would be
The
so obnoxious.
the other problem with this is it can only go on realistically one unit and one type of model, and
Squall the Lord.
it's a unit that you don't really want to charge into something and not kill, because if it's anything with melee, um, a melee profile, then it will just kill the Scorpec destroyers anyway. But you don't want to put it on a Lord, because this is the kind of thing where you want to tag 4 or 5 units that can't fall back and do anything, and then at least one of them's going to fail that 3 up, and then your unit's meant to be safe. But
Yeah, in the shooting like matchup, if you're against the infantry that shoot, that's pretty fucking good.
yeah, unless
Just
they
having
have
a unit sat
pistols,
there.
or unless they have something with actual melee that can charge you and kill you, or they have
Yeah,
something with
but
fights,
yeah,
or they have something with fights first. Like, the number of ways where this can be really bad, even
but
though it
it's
looks
good.
good, it's the best one. But that
It
doesn't
is. It
definitely
is
doesn't.
still good. I would take that
Yeah,
on a lot of things.
so
But
I'll be putting that on the unit definitely.
uh, this one is the worst one,
Actually,
I
what,
think.
Eldritch Nightmare? I quite
Or
like
is
it
it the other one?
because taking forcing an enemy unit to take a battle shock test isn't horrific. Like, we don't have many ways to battle shock the
Each enemy
opponent.
unit.
Yeah,
It's not terrible, but I like the other ones more, so that's why it's like the last choice for me.
fair enough.
Like, so that one's a forced battle shock. Then we've got Turn on Madness, which is a 4 up fight on death.
Not a
For
fan of that one
the I like that, but
because it's a 4 up. It was If it was a guaranteed fight on death, then I would happily take it.
yeah,
But you're spending 25 points for a 50% chance that something fights on death, and
yeah,
it's
pretty much.
going to be Scorpec destroyers, so they won't get any charge bonus. They won't be able to pop devs.
And then ingrained superiority is pretty good because it's pseudo ignores cover
On
um,
sixes.
on sixes, and it's oh right, well,
That's it. It's just on sixes. Like, if this was
yeah.
just +1 AP,
But a mytics would become like AP3 on sixes,
yeah,
which is
but
kind of cool.
only like 5 or 6 shots.
Nah,
Really,
I feel like yeah, there's not many reroll hits, is there? So
this is reroll wounds though, because it's on the wound,
no, I'm
not the
just
hit roll.
saying.
Yeah,
No, I was wondering if there were many reroll hits to sustain, and then you get more shots, but
no,
doesn't I don't look like they are. But yeah, it's all right. 10 points. If you got 10 points left,
yeah,
you don't really
exactly.
need it. But
It's not something I'd rely on, but it can be
oh, I
done.
apologise. I'm very tired. God Lord,
It's
I'm
just
yawning like non-stop.
stop
All
playing
right.
these computer games, mate.
Oh, I know. Right, stratagems.
Yeah, so we agree it's not the strongest suite of enhancements, and they pretty much only ever go on one of two models: the Locust Lord or the Scorpec Lord, and
That's
that's
pretty
it.
much all they can go on.
Well,
A
yeah,
destroyer character.
no,
Like
but
that.
you wouldn't put the 4 up fight on death on a Locust Lord, though, would you?
Oh, the 4 or 5 and they can go on anything. To be fair.
Yeah, but it can actually.
Yeah,
I didn't notice
get it
that.
on some. Yeah, that's not bad. Get
And
on some
then
Lich Guard,
and
mate.
then the same with the actual critical wound as well as shooting.
But there's
Um,
like not much.
but
There's not very much that's going to be better.
Immortals with the reroll wounds and Seraz and Gauss,
Yeah, let's build around that.
you can get AP3.
Let's build around that, guys.
Okay, right. So the first
Mask
stratagem,
of Death.
yeah,
This is the probably my favorite one. Well, it's probably the best one, like because it's just defensive.
yeah.
It's just -1 to be hit in shooting or combat for a destroyer cult or flayed ones. So it just keeps you alive. And because flayed ones are already stealth, they'd potentially be -2. Obviously, they can't stack, but
If
it's
someone's
pretty
got
good.
+1 to hit, then
Yeah, or like just being -1 to hit in combat's really good into some armies, like World Eaters,
yeah.
like because they don't have re rolls and other stuff that like hit high. That they're like stuff that just hits terribly.
But let's
They'll
be
be really good
honest.
into.
If 3 Exalted 8 bound charge into my Scorpec squad, they're still going to kill them even with -1 to hit,
Yep.
because every swipe is a dead guy, and I haven't got an invoke. So
No, they're
it'll
two
be good
damage,
in.
aren't they?
Uh,
I think one profile is 3 damage. Like the one guy can have three
I
damage.
just remember back in ninth when I had a 6-man Scorpec unit with the -1 to wound strat applied, a 5 up invul from the Chronomancer, and one Exalted 8 bound killed all 6.
Good God. Yeah, that was
Yeah,
ninth.
that
We
was
don't talk about ninth.
that wasn't fun, but yeah, but it still sits there in the memory.
Yeah. So
Okay, so
-1 to hit.
so that's a good strat that I could use multiple times a turn.
Yeah,
Okay,
definitely.
the second one,
It's a battle tactic, so you can make it free.
yeah,
Oh, start 10th. Fight phase, 6-inch pile-in or is it and? It's pile-in or
no,
consolidate.
mate, you're reading the wrong one here.
No, I'm not.
Okay, I'm reading the wrong one here. Never mind.
Look on
Yeah,
the look.
yeah. So
Pitiless hunter.
6-inch pilot consolidate is good too, especially
Yeah,
if you
it's all right.
tag other things
If it was
like
any unit though, that would be fucking better. Because imagine like a warriors with 6-inch pile-in consolidate. Well,
yeah, but it's just
or
straight
lich
up what
guard.
he wants. Is there a world where you can somehow magically get a Scorpec Lord to join some warriors using Trajan? I don't think there is. But
No, because Trajan is the one that replaces, not the.
yeah,
And you can't do it on Scorpeth Lords. You can't replace Scorpeth Lords.
oh yeah, true, right.
And
So
the reason I know that is because of how poorly we rated his data sheet. So we were like reading through it.
yeah, we actually read it for the first time properly.
Yeah.
Okay, so murderous reanimation in the fight phase.
Reanimation. We just
After
renovate.
yeah, but you have to jump through
That's
hoops.
what this detachment needs.
You got to jump through hoops though. You got to kill something
Mm.
or go below half strength. And
Wow.
they, yeah, it's just after, right?
Like, why can't they just give us something?
Yeah, we're not here to complain about it. We're just here to read through and then decide how we're going to use these on the
Yes, yes.
list.
We're not trying to fix it,
No,
guys.
we're not
That's
going to
what
fix
GW
it.
is meant to do.
We've already. We'll have another video to fix this sometime before the new
Good
data set.
lord.
Pray.
Yeah, that'll be a
Okay,
2-hour segment.
so
All
here,
right.
this is one of the weirder ones. Blood fueled cruelty.
I'll do the talking. Blood fueled cruelty. Your opponent's movement phase, just after an enemy unit ends a fallback move, you pick a destroyer unit or a flayed one unit that started in engagement range on a d6, 2 to 5. They take d3 more wounds. On a 6, they take 3. And then you can make a normal move, but you have to end the move as close as possible. If this stratagem let you get back into combat, it would be fucking ridiculous.
Again, we're not here to
But we're
complain.
not trying to improve it. We're just, we're not trying to make it playable. We're trying to find out how we can play it
So
as is.
what you can do with this is you can move one model as close as possible, and then every other model can go in any other direction as long as you're in coherency. So you
That is
can
correct.
go onto an objective. So it can be cheeky, but it's still on a unit that is just so easy to kill. So I'm
Yeah.
not. And if it was like on a 6 where it was D3+3, like we have with, Imotech, Storm, or the Scorpec Lords, Impact Mortals, then it might be worth a punt if you charge something and they try to fall back and it's on 3 wounds, to try and kill it. But um, essentially, to me, this kind of reads as roll, do D3 mortal wounds for something that falls back. That's about it.
Yeah, I mean, it's so niche if when this is actually going to come up.
Yeah, because most things will kill our units once they're not in combat anymore. And I wonder if you can use this in conjunction with the other one. I mean, obviously, you can't move if you're engaged, so yeah, you can't stack them. But
Yeah. Then Insanity's Ire. Your opponent's shooting phase, just after an enemy unit is shot. You basically get to do a blood surge without blood surging. So
yeah,
you get to make a normal move, but you have to end as close as possible. Oh, you have to end as close as possible, but it's a normal move.
so it
Oh,
could help you occasionally if one unit from one side of the battlefield shoots you, and then the other one is on the other side, and you can like move out of its line of sight. But it's not going to come up very often.
this detachment is like just niche incarnated.
It
It's
is so
just
close.
it's just every single point of of the of the whole thing is just like these niche things that can happen.
Yeah,
That's all it is. And then we've got the last one, and I apologize that it's
the,
not really showing on the screen very well because I can't even scroll down.
the spewer of
The
frailty.
spore of frailty.
Spewer. Let's call it spewer.
Spewy.
Spewer. This is
Shooting a
probably the
fight
second best
phase.
one.
One destroyer cult unit or flayed ones from your army that has not been selected to shoot or fight. until the end of the yeah. So it is destroyers, destroyer only.
Yeah.
You were saying like the vault. Until the end of the phase, each time a model from your unit makes an attack, targeting a unit below starting strength, add one, and if it's below half, add one. It's one to the hit, and then below half, it's add one to the wound.
No, the reason I was talking about the vault was it's a way to get with the endeavor
Oh, to
get a
get it.
unit below, below starting strength, so you can actually use this.
Yeah, yeah, I get you.
So, I can see
So
me, I
it's
can see me using this quite a lot. Just give me plus one to hit, which is always going to be strong, and then in the niche time it comes up, you get the plus one to wound. But like if things are
yeah.
below half strength, I should be able to kill them anyway with on the charge with flayed ones because if it's below half strength, the flayed ones are now sustained hit with twin linked.
I
It's,
played one game with this attachment, and every single thing you touch into, you either don't kill it or like it's already dead and you just overkill it to absolute
yeah,
kingdom come. Like there's no in between at all. That's
yeah,
just how it feels to play. So
yeah.
um,
So those are the strats. The ones I'm going to be trying to play and use the most is probably the minus one to hit, and then the one that we just spoke about where I get plus one to hit or wound. And then the other ones, if they come up and they're useful, then I might use them. If something with one wound falls back, try to kill it would be quite nice. But
mhm.
otherwise, it's just those. And
Well, let's make a list.
yeah, so I'm not looking forward to this because it's going to be weird.
So
So,
I feel like we're going to be using the strats a lot. Like the minus one to be hit strat, we're going to be using a lot.
you think?
I think so. I think it's like our main form of durability. And after chatting to a couple of people who do run this attachment, Josie being one of them, she said that the main uh, strat she uses is that one. So I can see
Yeah,
it.
yeah, I can see it. You're going to use it
So
every 5 minutes.
Imatech is jumping out at me
Probably. And we can always remove him afterwards as well.
for sure because yeah he's. I mean he's got a backfield sitting, and yeah it just feels like you're just going to be spamming that.
I mean, it's also a low mobility army because
Do you know
there's
what's
no
really strange as well that I've just thought about? This
what
detachment, obviously, like it doesn't have any offensive strats
apart from
that
the plus one
like
to hit.
hit and wound, but
Yeah,
also hit and wound. But obviously, it's really niche kind of thing.
yeah,
But it doesn't have like a damage, like strength, AP, like anything in combat,
mm,
or like a strat that does that. It doesn't have like re rolls for shooting. Something like that. That's I feel like that's what it's kind of missing. It doesn't have what those kind of armies do have.
yeah.
So yeah, and then so yeah, Imatech, and then obviously we need Scorpeth Lords.
I mean, we're just slamming three in at this point.
Yeah,
I
it's
don't
like
think
two to three,
there's now we're going with three. Um,
and
yeah,
then
as I was saying, this is like a pretty low mobility detachment. There's no bonuses for movement, so getting into the right positions to score secondaries might be difficult. So having Imotech there to cycle the cards a bit more will be helpful for sure
mhm,
because I'll probably be doing that quite a lot.
yeah,
Now this is going to be Games Workshop layout terrain, which means looking at the three rounds that I'll be playing on, there isn't a great load of places to hide a big blobs. Basically, it's all
mhm.
small areas and there's loads of line of sight to see down. So,
I feel like this Scorpeth Lord with the fallback one is like one that you want to keep in reserves and then rapid ingress it with like a 6 man or a three.
but looking at the terrain, rapid ingress is really bad on these. Basically, the
Mm,
round one is probably the best one to be able to do it. But round two is tipping point where the flanks are going to be well screened, and then round three is sweeping engagement, which is going to be very difficult for me to find
yeah.
a spot that isn't useful outside of my deployment zone. So, I mean, I'm more likely to have one big blob with the fallback lord, no fallback lord, because more models will allow me to tag more things, which means that I'll be more likely to be able to stay in combat with stuff.
Hmm.
But I don't think I want to have two big squads, unfortunately, simply because I'm looking at the deployment and I'm going to struggle to hide them.
Is it like 6-3-3? You
Yeah,
thinking?
that's what I'm thinking. Like, if I was to run the 4-up fight on death enhancement as well, then I might consider a second big blob.
Would you
But
run any other enhancement apart from the fallback? So the
on
battle shock.
the battle shot one, I could add at the end if I've got the
Yeah,
points, but it's not
we'll
something.
leave that for now.
I also want at least two squads of flayed ones. I think we like our flayed ones.
I was
So
thinking like three, like 10-5-5, or
that was my initial thought because having 10, because we both know how resilient they can be sometimes when people underestimate how much it takes to kill that little unit. Um, but again, I'm thinking, well, how would I deploy 10? They only move 5 inches, so I can't, and they don't get advance and charge. If they had advance and charge, then it would be a totally different story. Uh, I'd be tempted to run a squad of 10, but I have to find a place to deploy them. Or that could just be a unit of 10 that I use to just simply screen out their scout moves and stuff. But then I'm thinking I might want, if I'm doing that, I might want to use the Deceiver, which I don't have painted, and I don't fancy painting, if I'm telling the truth.
Mhm.
Um, but then I could deploy them in a line, block out their infiltrate locations, and then just pull them back at the end somewhere a bit more safe. But again, it's the terrain's quite open, uh, so we'll stick with three squads of five, but maybe we'll go up to a 10 at the end if the points go nicely.
Mhm.
Because I'm happy to run the three squads of five.
All right, we've got that.
So I've got
So
a bit of melee. I've got a bit of
there's normal destroyers, there's heavy destroyers. I
so
think a
no.
lord with 3 emitics might be nice for the outflank, but
Yes, and I don't have anything that's going to kill big hordes yet. Like Stormpet destroyers aren't good at killing 20 guardsmen because they just don't have enough attacks. And the five flayed ones again don't have enough attacks to kill 20 guardsmen unless they're below half strength. But then if they're below half strength, anything kills them. So 3 amnitics with the lords is good. He'll definitely have the resorb and the blade. Just in case they get tagged, I've got some way of getting out of it. But um, how many
yep.
point? How many points are we on at the moment? We're already on
Yeah, we're on 11 full time.
45. Now, is there a world where I play a solo lord with the feel no pain, just running around by himself, um, charging in and giving battle shock to things? That would be quite cheeky, but he doesn't go through walls, so his movement would be a bit harder. But he is
Mhm.
the destroyer cult unit.
But it is GW,
It is
so
GW, but
a bit more forgiving.
yeah, it can be. There'll be gaps for me to move through, but again, he only moves 8. He doesn't get back up. Like, I'm not entirely convinced that would be something I'd be interested in. And before we go any further, there's no way on this earth that I'm going to run a 6 bomb of Locust Destroyers, so don't even think about mentioning it.
I
Absolutely
didn't
no
say a
chance.
word.
Not a Scooby Doo chance. So yeah, like I want 3 Doomsday Hacks. I want some shooting.
Don't see why not.
I know they don't get anything from the detachment, but I need something that can help me punch into things.
Well, if we include the solo Locust Lord with the
No, let's get rid of him.
pharmacy benefit.
Let's get rid of him. I'm not convinced about him myself. Now, normally
Right.
I'd have some solo little destroyers on my backfield, but we've got Imotech for that.
We need maybe some hex marks, some good lone ops, rapid ingress.
At least one hex mark would be a good option.
180 points left.
Is that it? That is not good.
That was the 3 DDAs.
Yeah, well, I'm not having less. I need something that's actually going to be good.
Mm-hmm.
But then, like, you look at this list so far, and you go, This would just be better in Star Shatter. Or this would just be better in Awakened, and we just change the Soulless Reaper for the Philo Pain. It's like, yep, much better. So 180 points would be like two Solar Destroyers and Immortals, I guess. But would that? I mean, I have nothing that stands on objectives, which worries me.
I
Part,
mean, you
part
could
of
do like a Nightbringer, and because then it like forces your opponent to come out, and then you can use like the score paths.
maybe a Nightbringer and a Void Dragon. That would be cool.
Yeah, like just something out there that forces your opponent to like interact with the objectives, and then you can
If
you
we added,
basically hit the score paths behind the wall.
but if we added two Catans, that's 600 points, and all of a sudden I need to drop 400. And
Yeah.
I know you're looking at the Doomsday Arcs, but that's just not going to happen. At which point we're then just trimming, and we said we'd have at least 1,000 points of that. So maybe I have to trim one Doomsday Arc, and then maybe the Amnitics would have to go.
I think the mythics are good.
They are, unfortunately, yeah. I just feel like running
I
one
think
Katana.
solo heavy emetics would be all right as
I, I,
well because
I mean, I like them. I like them.
they'd be getting extra AP if they come in from reserves and shoot whatever's closest.
I mean, that could be a case of where you just ditch the Lord, you just have a couple, but then problem is, I kind of want a decent amount of those heavy destroyers and only be able to take 3 squads, but having some of them solo means, you know, like if there's ever going to
Yeah.
be an attachment to take them, this would be the one. But I, I could run two Transcendent Catans, for example,
We
but
could
then
do like flayed one, upgrade a flayed one to a 10, put two more heavies in, and then give the Locust Lord the +1 AP enhancement.
what do I have that stands on an objective though? That's the point.
Just trash. Oh, I don't know. A hex mark.
Like I can't really stand Scorpex on the point; they just die. Doomsday Arcs are okay, but we have to clear away the
10
anti
flayed ones in the middle.
10 flayed ones in the middle just die to everything. So like there's
Like
nothing for me to,
strung out.
I'm going to struggle to hold primary against shooting armies and against melee armies. I haven't got anything to shove forward. So if I'm going to go heavy on Scorpex, I feel like I want something that can get charged by the Scorpex, survive, and then the Scorpex can counter attack with the backup of the other thing. So like two Catans sound really nice. So maybe we just ditch all of the DDAs,
DBAs.
ditch all three, add in Void Dragon and Nightbringer, for example. We can jimmy around the points later, I guess. But
175.
so is that the Void Dragon and the Nightbringer?
Yeah.
Okay, so then I've got, let's put in 4 heavy destroyers, 2x2. I know that's more than the points we've got, but
Or we could do 3, 2, 1, and then the enhancement.
wait, what? We can't have 4 squads. We can only have.
No, 2, and then 1, and then the enhancement.
I'm not really fussed about the enhancement. I'd rather.
Well, it's just because they've got 10 points left.
Yeah, I'd rather
Would we
Jimmy.
have them with a mythic or the gal?
I'd want the gals because I've got no DDA, so I want some anti tank in there. I'm not too worried about elite infantry because I can deal with that with Scorpex and the Catans.
So then we've got 10 left. So then,
No, if it's 2x2,
well, no, it's 3 mythics,
yeah, then
2,
two by
and then
two
a
gals.
1.
2x2 gals. I
But
want
we
to.
don't have enough.
Yeah, but we're going to delete something else. That's the point.
No.
So 45
45.
over. So if I delete a hex mark, I'd have 30 points.
That's no good.
I kind of like the hex mark. I mean, I could
Yeah.
just. Do we ditch the Locust Lord? Do we need it at this point?
Crit
Probably.
fives.
Maybe we just ditch Imhotep. Like, I can't use the strats on the Nightbringer or the Void Dragon. I can only use
Mm.
them on the Scorpex. Is even the Hexmark a Destroyer cult model? Is he?
Yeah,
Uh,
surely. Yeah, he is.
okay. So, I mean, I wouldn't mind having a couple of them, but again, they're not going to find anywhere to really go. I have turn 3 to bring them down and put them somewhere to score, and that's it. You can't go uppy downy.
AP3.
I'm not going to put the wrong enhancement on a hex mark again, mate. Sorry.
No, no, I meant AP because if they shoot the closest thing, they get plus one AP.
I mean, they are a good shooting platform,
Yeah, so if they shoot the closest thing, they literally become AP3.
and they also get to reroll charges.
AP3 ignore cover. That's pretty good.
It is. You're not actually wrong there, and they can get +1 to hit and wound as well. I mean, I know they
Potentially.
already have the hit on twos, but
Yeah, I mean it's not going to be that great.
is there an argument for putting an enhancement on them? I don't think there is. Because I wouldn't mind a second hex mark in that case.
Yeah.
But then we're not really. If we had a second hex mark and we reduced down the destroyers to 1 each, then I've got a lot less anti tank than I'd like, really.
Or if we just get rid of the Locust Lord because he's not really. I mean,
It's giving me
we're not
crit
getting
fives.
reroll.
It's giving me crit fives, but I don't, So
But then we have 35
well, that's
points.
just a little destroyer or 2 enhancements, isn't it? Or I could just get rid of the Amnitics potentially. Go up some flayed ones. Like if I run a 2 Amnitic, get rid of the Lord, +60 on the flayed ones and a hex mark, that might work.
So, what are your thoughts?
Because
Like the Mythics have like do answer stuff.
yes, they
Even in
do.
this one, when they don't have, they're just worse, and they'll get. But they basically get plus one AP, potentially plus one to hit. There's no reroll hits, which is a shame.
Part of me wants a command badge as well for the Resorb.
Uh,
Things like the Scorpet Destroyers.
it's just 100 and something points. It's
100,
just not doing anything.
120 points that I can stick the um, the battle shock enhancement on would be quite interesting because he is relatively tough, so he could charge to make things battle shock by himself, and then the extra OC might help me hold a point potentially.
Mm.
That Games Workshop terrain is pretty good for Catans. Um, there's especially round 2. There's a real nice
You could
place.
probably drop Imitac, and
That
then
can be pretty good with my CP
you
usage.
could drop Imitac and add another Destroy Heavy, so you can make like a 3 and a 2.
Uh, and I'm not a fan of the big blobs of heavies. How
Mm.
many played ones are we on? Are we still on 2 or 3?
Yeah, we were on 3 squads of 5. We'd like 5 points down.
So, I mean, that could just be training down one of the Catans, for example.
Or like a heavy for a hex mark and flayed ones, right?
Like 2 heavies would be 110. That would give me a.
I'm sorry to say it, but if the Void Dragon was the Deceiver,
Yeah, but I don't have him painted, and I'm not going to get him painted in time.
yeah, you can.
I can paint some score packs because they're easy, but the Deceiver is something that I haven't worked out how to paint yet.
35 points.
I mean, I can just bullshit it.
And the redeploy. 35 points and a redeploy, and it can put your stuff into reserves to cap over.
But I never get to put the Void Dragon on the table anymore.
I'll play the Void Dragon then. We've got 55 points somewhere if we get rid of him attack.
165 if we get rid of two of the destroyers. That would be a hex mark. I mean, we have Ophidians. We haven't put any Ophidians in yet, and I kind of do want at least one, just one squad.
Yeah.
One squad for secondaries.
Bloody hell, the Andy I know.
It's look, we're playing this detachment. I'm at desperation mode at this point, right?
Desperation mode.
Desperation mode.
There we go. So we've
So
got 85. That's a hex mark and an enhancement on the Locust Lord.
um,
Because we got rid of some heavies. So we
oh
split them to 2 ones.
yeah,
And then duplicate him. And we give him.
the crit wounds enhancement. It would
I
be
think he.
nice. It would be nice if I could have the battle shock one on Lord. That's 15 points, but
Yeah, it's not too much. But this is real. This
I
looks
mean,
real enough.
I could drop down the 6-man squad to a 3-man squad and just have 3 metals.
Nah. I think you need that 6, that punch.
Just hard to deploy. And then even if on like round 2 the only safe space is right deep in my deployment on tipping point, it just makes it very difficult for me to get out without being. And it is a
Mm.
hostile environment for 3 wound models when you've got predator tanks running around everywhere.
Yeah. They've
Uh,
been nerfed now. It's fine.
like on round 3, there's literally nowhere for me to deploy them. A little
You
bit.
just chuck them in reserve and then just do a 9-inch rerollable, mate.
So what have we got? We've got 2 Catans, 3 Scorpex squads, 3 Flayed One squads, 2 Hex marks, no DDAs, which is very sad. I do feel like I'm lacking in anti-tank shooting, I guess, but I can deal with tanks with the Catans and the Scorpex, I guess.
We're all anti-tank. It's fine. It's
Um,
fine, guys. Just bring it to below half wounds, and then get +1 to wound.
and I've got 2 Catans, but unfortunately the strat to reanimate doesn't work on Catans, which is also really awkward.
Mm.
Do I want to have a squad of 10 Flayed Ones instead of 5? Maybe. There's something to think. But
Yeah.
I need some brawlers. But like I'm never going to really use the strats on them, I think. So it'll be the strats on the 3 Amnitics or the big squads of Scorpec, and that's probably it, sadly enough. Maybe on the Hex mark if I want him to survive doing an action or something. I mean, it's really like this detachment would just be better in any other. This list would be better in any other detachment, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
And that's the sad thing about it.
Yeah. It needs something to stand out amongst the others.
What about Wraiths? Like, could a squad of Wraiths, the Wraith package with the Technomancer, would that be worth? What what
It's
would I
just
cut for that?
yeah. It's just turning into another list.
I think we have to stay true to the what it's meant to be.
Yeah, the destroyer cause.
90 points. What can I get for 30 points? Well, 40 points. I could have, instead of that extra 6 blob of score pack, I could have some scarabs.
I think I prefer the Scorpius.
Second squad of Ophidians, maybe.
I like it as it is. I mean, I'd probably only want for me. I'd probably.
I mean, I don't have to run those Catans. I could obviously drop down to a Transcendent, for example. That would only save me 5 points, though, right?
Yeah, you.
Which means I could have the battle shock enhancement instead of the AP one. Because let's be honest, I'm probably just going to forget the AP one when I'm
Mhm.
rolling dice.
But yeah, I
I
guess.
mean, two transcendence instead of those two obviously isn't as deadly. I have a bit more mobility, but I can't add
I
my.
think both of them are nice.
That would save me 15 points. But that's still not enough, is it? I mean, the game plan is simple. We shove out the Catans and go,
And then sit behind a wall and.
and then just try and counter attack and hope that they can't gun me down. If they can, then I have to play a bit more cagey because I don't have any DDAs to punch them back.
Mhm. Yeah, I think this is decent. I think it's got some good trading. I think it's got good damage into infantry and tanks alike. It's got some tough. Two Katana is still tough for a lot of stuff to deal with. Um,
Yeah, I
Hex
mean,
marks. So AP3 is really cool. AP3 when they Overwatch, like it is.
yeah,
It is quite cool.
not having Emotech there is also. I mean, we could drop three score peck and the enhancement and put Emotech back. I actually quite like that, to be honest.
What, have a single scope of Lord running around,
No, I go
or
for
three lots of three?
three lots of three. I think. Like I say, I'm concerned I won't be able to deploy them. I know they're not as deadly. That extra three is really nice with the Lord, but I also don't have anything to hold my home objective in this. Um,
Yeah, I was just thinking about
I mean, there's going to be somewhere there's a hex mark because looking at the terrain layouts, it might be difficult to hold from inside.
that. Yeah.
I wish I had something that Imotech could go with as well. Maybe do we think that we need to put the flayed ones into a squad of 10 and a squad of 5? Would that help? Would that be good in any way? Because
Um,
hiding 10 with infiltrate can be difficult.
I think the fives are fine.
They
Mm,
benefit more from the strats, obviously, when they're in a bigger squad.
yeah. And 10 would be alright to 6-inch pile in or consolidate.
Yeah, I mean, it'd be a really good alpha strike. I literally just deploy them on the line 9 inches away and pray that I go first. But then
So you could
maybe,
do like 110, 1.5.
but then that's just like, if I don't go first, well, there goes 120 points of my army straight away.
Yeah.
And it's not like I can redeploy them after knowing with the deceiver because we don't have that knowledge.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and to be honest, like even intercessors kill flayed ones on the charge. Like they don't survive very well anyway. So it's not like a beast master pack where you can charge in and just move off everything. Oh, I believe he just sent me a message.
Um,
Okay.
yeah, I think. Yeah, I'm pretty. It's just a decision between the fives and the tens. Like that, I just when I made my version, it was like Deceiver, but I made it for UKTC, and it
Yeah.
was like similar. It was like Deceiver, Imatech, one hex mark, but I do like the two hex marks because I hadn't even realized at that time that they would be AP3.
Yeah. I
So I
mean,
do like them a lot.
UKTC is much better for flayed ones because there's at least two spots in the infiltrate they can hide, and quite often there's three. Whereas on this deployment I'm looking at now on the maps, there's not really secure spots because there's always a line of sight that they can get to one easily without.
Yeah, and you can outflank like really easily on UKTC. Like there's
Yeah.
just massive open spaces.
Okay, so I'm gonna get to test this one game before I have to submit my list. So I
Yeah,
guess we'll try this and then
see what you like and don't like.
see if I want to change anything. I think the biggest changes that might happen might be a couple of Doomsday Arcs going in and then dropping down
Yeah,
just a few bits here and there. Maybe I lose the two destroyers
yeah, you
and
can almost like one Catan.
and then one Catan, and then
Yeah,
as long as I have. definitely got one expansion objective. I can fight over the other two quite happily, so that might be the easiest change to make. But because two single destroyers, they don't really do much. They're there more for actions in this list that can also contribute afterwards. I think.
Mm-hmm.
And I just gotta hope I don't hit a car park basically.
Yeah, that's the unfortunate thing.
But it is an RTT, so if it goes badly, it doesn't matter. I know there's going to be some good players there. People I know are going to turn up and play. So
Yeah, I mean, I would be like, for me, I'd be like 6 man of Scorpeths and 10 man of Flayed Ones, but it would just have less. I'd probably trade a Catan for it.
okay,
Just because you've
so
got like a hammer, like then you've got a real, like, I know the Catans are good, but then you've got like a real threat with
okay,
one of the
so if I lost the void track and put that back up to 6,
and then you do like that to 10.
and then
You're
how many points?
150.
150. So like one locust destroyer goes, I get one DDA. That's not ideal, really. Or I could have. We haven't got the enhancements anymore, have we? We've just got that one.
Yeah.
Uh, or I could just have one DDA and leave that as a 5-man flayed one. And then I've got the 10 points for the enhancement. I can't, to be honest, I probably prefer the Void Dragon build than this one.
Yeah, do that then.
Yeah, and we'll stick with that. I think it's easier. I think. Yeah, I've kind of got basically two of the things: two Catans, two Hex Marks, three Scorpex, three Flayed ones. It's a very neat list, really.
Yep. It's almost like the NAS Canoptic Court list.
Um, although 20 points. What can I do with 20 points? Just one enhancement, right? Not really left.
What's the 20 points for?
But if I ditch the two destroyers and put them into the Scorpec blob, but then that doesn't really gain me anything. It just gets me like the battle shock enhancement. That's it. But then I'm not really bothered about that. So we've got Emotech right in this list, have we?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So we'll try this. It seems a little like an Anki tank, but hopefully I can just make all my 12-inch charges with the rerolls.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
You
that's the
know,
easy.
hope that all the tanks have 11 wounds, so I can get one shot off with a destroyer, and then he's in low
Assist.
half strength, so I get plus one to charge.
Yeah, you could get Imitex Mortals to go off. Boom.
Yeah, but he's going to be standing on my home objective. Most.
Yeah, it's the dream.
Could I not stick him with 5 Lich Guard, maybe, and then I can use him as an actual aggressive piece, or maybe hold my flank objective with him. That'd be 85 points. What would I drop for that? 20. Nothing. Nah. We'll try that and see how it goes. I reserve the right to make a couple of changes, but I think we've got the core right.
Yeah, I think it's looking like some form of list.
I just have to paint some Scorpec destroyers now.
Should be like me and already have 18.
I've got 18. They're all kind of painted, but not to the same standard as the rest of my army that I play.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah,
Yeah,
hopefully,
nice.
hopefully we've come up with a good list here, and people
You
watching
can try it out.
not laugh
And
too much. And then if I go 3-0, boom, Annihilation Legion is good all of a sudden.
yeah, we've been laughing this whole time, but it's actually broken.
Yeah, well, we'll see. Right.
Well, thank you for watching, everyone. Sorry, it's been a bit of a shorter one, but you can't really go into all that much because it's just theory crafting at the
Yeah,
end of the day. So testing is the best way, and
cool.
we'll let you guys know after the weekend. I'm not doing any tournaments this weekend. I'm having a bit of a break, so
Well, this will be on Monday, this tournament, so
nice. So yeah, we'll join back after the tournament.
yeah.
All
All right.
right, catch you
Cheers.
later, guys.